Children, today in English literature we will do lesson 10, The Railway Children, written by Edith Nesbit. Edith Nesbit, born on 15th August 1858, she lived till 4th May 1924, was an English author and poet. She published her books for children under the name of E. Nesbit. Now we will look into the characters of the story. Father, a high-ranking civil servant, and he was very intelligent and hard-working, and a devoted husband and a devoted father too. But he was wrongly imprisoned for espionage, but is eventually exonerated. Then mother, a talented poetess and writer of children's stories. She is devoted to her family and is always ready to help others in need. Roberta, her nicknamed Bobby, she is the oldest and the most mature of the three children and the closest in personality to their mother. Peter, the middle child, only boy, he is intelligent and resourceful. Though at times rather insensitive, he considered himself the leader of the three and usually does take the lead in crisis situations. Then Phyllis, the youngest and the least mature of the children. So before starting the explanation of this lesson, let's look at the summary of the story. The story concerns a family who moves from London to the Three Chimneys, a house near the railway, after the father, who works at the Foreign Office, is imprisoned after being falsely accused of spying. The children Roberta, nicknamed Bobby, Peter and Phyllis, befriend an old gentleman who regularly takes the 9:15 train near their home. He is eventually able to help prove their father's innocence, and finally the family is reunited. Before father is freed, the family takes care of a Russian exile, Mr. Pansky, who came to England looking for his family, and Jim, the grandson of the old gentleman who suffers a broken leg in a tunnel. The theme of the innocent man being falsely imprisoned and then Russian exile, and this family has to move to the nearby small house is all about the story. So let's look into the story where they have to come from a big red brick villa to a small house, and what happens there, and how their mother hides that they have become poor. Everything is in this story. Okay, let's start. So this is lesson 10, The Railway Children. List 5 things that you love most about your home. If you had to move the houses and were allowed to take just one carton of things, which 5 things would you definitely take with you? Now here you see, children, let's read, you have to list 5 things, and if that you love very much, you have to list those 5 things. If you are moving your house or shifting your house, which 5 things you will carry, you can do it, you can think about it. Okay, children, so let's read a story about the children who had to leave their home and move to a new one. There were 3 of them. Roberta was the eldest. Next came Peter, and the youngest was Phyllis. They lived their parents in a red brick fronted villa. Father and mother were always ready to play with the children and read to them. They were very happy, but they did not know how happy till the pretty life in the red villa was over and done with, and they had to live a very different life indeed. So there were 3 of them, as I have discussed earlier, Roberta, Peter and Phyllis, and they were very happy with their parents in the red brick fronted villa. But one day an incident changed their life, and they have to move from red villa, and they have to lead a different kind of life, which was not so smooth or happy. The change came quite suddenly on Peter's 10th birthday. 2 stern-looking gentlemen came to see father that day. Father and mother took them to the library. There was a lot of talking. The children heard boots go out and the front door shut. Then mother came in. Father's been called away, she said. There's been some trouble, but I want you not to ask me any questions about it. Be good and go to bed. They kissed her and went. Now, suddenly their life changed on Peter's 10th birthday when two stern-looking gentlemen came to meet their father, and they went to the library and they were talking a lot, and the children can heard the boots go out and the front of the door then shut. Then suddenly the mother came in and she said that father has been called away, means father has went somewhere, and there's been some trouble. So you don't ask me any question about it, and now you go to bed. And then she kissed them and she went. A few days later, mother came down to breakfast. She looked pale, but she smiled and said, "Now, my pets, we are going to leave this house and go and live in the country. I know you will love it." Now, what happened? After mother was not well, she was looking pale, and she came down after a few days to have her breakfast, and then she announced that they are going to the country and the children are going to live, love it, and they are going there for few days. Now here you see a whirling week of packing followed, not just packing clothes like when you go on a holiday, but packing chairs, tables, crockery, blankets, candlesticks and carpets. Then boxes were filled, and the next afternoon a cab came to take them to the station. Then there was a whirling week, means actually there was a very busy week, and they were like, we go to the holiday, then what we do, we only pack our clothes and some necessities, but this packing was for a week. It followed because they were actually packing the chairs, tables, crockery, blankets, candlesticks and carpets, and their boxes were filled. And then the next afternoon, then a cab came and took them to the station. So actually they were shifting their home. It was not a normal holiday where only we carry the clothes, but while we shift the house, that time we have to carry everything like chair, tables, crockery, blankets. So they were also doing like that. On the train, the children enjoyed looking out of the window, but when it grew dusk, they were sleepy. They were roused by mother saying, "Wake up, dears." So the children were enjoying looking out of the window from the train. Children, you also enjoy while we go in a journey in a train or a bus, sitting beside the window side, we look out, and these children were also actually enjoying. But it grew dusk and the children were actually feeling sleepy, and next day the children were roused by their mother saying, "Wake up, dears. We are there," means we have reached. They woke up and they stood shivering on the cold platform. The baggage was loaded onto a cart. "Come," said mother, "we have got to walk." Now they woke up and it was too cold because early in the morning and the platform was cold, and their baggage was loaded onto a cart, and mother said that now we have to walk for a while to reach. The walk was dark and muddy. The children stumbled a little on the rough road. Presently a great dark lumpish thing showed over to the right. Now this walk was very dark and there was a muddy road actually, and the children were not able to move because the road was very rough and they were stumbling and it was very dark. And then they saw a lumpish thing to their right. Okay, so "There's the house," said mother. There was no light in the windows. The man who drove the cart stooped, took out the key from under the doorstep, unlocked the door, went in and lit a candle. By its thin little glimmer, the children saw a large bare kitchen. There was a rustling, scampering sound. "Oh, what's that?" asked the children. "It's only the mice," said the cartman. "What fun," said mother. "This is quite an adventure, isn't it?" So the children stopped near a house and there was no light in the windows, and the cartman also stopped and from under the door step. He took out the key and unlocked the door and went inside and lit a candle because there was no light actually. And the children saw a large bare kitchen, means there was nothing in the kitchen, and there was a rustling and scampering sound, and they asked what this. Then the cartman said it's a mice, and mother was actually wanting to comfort the children so that they don't get scared, and she said, wow, it's a fun, it's adventure, isn't it? They lit a fire in the dining room. Everyone was very tired but cheered up at the sight of the funny and delightful supper. There were biscuits, the Mary, and the plain kind, sardines, raisins, and marmalade. So actually all of them were very tired, but looking at the supper, they were very happy and delightful because there was biscuits, the Mary, and the plain kind, sardines, and raisins, and marmalade. Next morning, Roberta woke Phyllis saying, we are in the new house. Let's get up and begin to be useful. We will just creep down mouse quietly and have everything beautiful before mother gets up. I have woken Peter. He will be dressed as soon as we are. So next morning, Roberta woke up Phyllis saying that this is our new house. Let's get up and we begin to be useful, adjust to this house, and we all go down and have everything beautiful before mother gets up. So I have woken Peter. She said she have also woken Peter, and they all were dressed and they were ready to go down. They lighted the fire and put the kettle on. They arranged the crockery for breakfast. When there seemed to be nothing more that they could do, they went out again into the fresh, bright morning. They went out to the yard and watched the hilly country below. They could see the line of the railway down below. Let's sit down a bit, suggested Roberta. So they sat down on a great flat grey stone that had pushed itself up out of the grass, and when mother came out to look for them at 8 o'clock, she found them deeply asleep in the contented, sun-warmed bunch. So children were all ready. They lighted the fire and they put the kettle on, and they arranged all the crockery for breakfast, and they were actually wanting to help their mother and to give her surprise, and they want to take some fresh bright, it was a fresh bright morning, and they went out to the yard and they watched a hilly country below. Means there was a country, it was a hilly country actually in the below, and they can see the railway line also. And then Roberta suggested, let's sit down. So they all sat down. There was a flat grey stone, and that they had put itself out of the grass, and they sat down there only. And when mother came out to look for them at 8 o'clock, she found them. They were deeply asleep in the contented, sun-warm bunch. Means under the sun, it was bright and it was giving them warmth, and in the cool sun day, they were enjoying the sun and they fell asleep. So this is all about the story, children, and your work is to write the word meanings in your school literature copy. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.